Welcome to this deep dive into MCDP 1 to 2.
Campaigning.
Yeah, campaigning.
Yeah.
We're going to be diving into this crucial Marine Corps document, and it outlines how the USMC fights and wins. So
Really, at its core, it's how to think about war fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like it. This is going to be good.
It's going to be like your guide to understanding how strategy and tactics all come together on the battlefield.
And that's what's so fascinating about this document. It really emphasizes that connection between those high-level strategic goals and what's happening tactically, like on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
So like every action, every decision you make as a Marine contributes to the big picture.
Exactly.
So let's get started. Let's start with campaigns.
Okay.
MCDP 1-2 defines a campaign as a series of operations that are aimed at a strategic objective.
Right. It's like a giant game of chess where each move is carefully planned to achieve the ultimate goal, right?
So each move is like an operation.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
So then this document goes on to define this link between strategy and tactics as the operational level of war.
That's right. It's that bridge between the big picture why of a conflict and then the what, boots on the ground tactics. So the operational level figures out the how.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about different levels of war, as this document calls them. We've got strategic, we've got operational, and we've got tactical.
Exactly.
So we're talking like a pyramid here, right?
Yes.
With strategy at the top.
Yes.
Setting those big goals, and then tactics down at the base where the fighting happens.
Exactly. And that's one of the key takeaways, I think, from MCDP 1 and 2 is that success at all those levels is interconnected. You can have the most brilliant tactical victory, but if it doesn't align with the overall strategy, it's wasted effort.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's not just about winning battles, it's about winning the war.
Right.
And understanding how your actions as a Marine fit into that larger goal.
Exactly.
So the document uses the Civil War as a case study.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of illustrate this point. And it compares the approaches of Generals Grant and Lee.
Two legendary figures, right?
Yeah.
This is really interesting for understanding different ways a campaign can be approached.
Okay.
Grant, even though he was sometimes called a butcher, he had this crystal clear strategy that was totally aligned with the North's goal.
Okay.
Total victory.
Okay.
And the destruction of Lee's army.
Right.
Every move he made, every battle he fought reflected that.
That's strategic focus.
Yeah, that strategic focus. Exactly.
Right. So Lee, on the other hand, was known for his tactical brilliance.
Right.
But this document suggests that he might have struggled at the strategic level.
That's a debate that continues to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but what's fascinating is that Lee, despite winning impressive tactical victories, may have been less effective at connecting those wins to the South's ultimate goal of independence. So MCDP 1-2 uses this example to show that tactical brilliance alone isn't enough.
So you gotta have both.
Got to have both.
Okay.
You got to have the tactics and the strategy.
We're working together.
So let me bring this back to like you as a Marine.
Okay.
How can you apply these concepts to your role in a conflict?
That's where it gets really interesting because MCDP 1 to 2 makes this powerful point. Every action you take, even the seemingly small ones, can impact the bigger picture.
Okay.
So whether you're leading a fire team or planning logistics, your understanding of the operational level of war can be crucial.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's about understanding the commander's intent.
Absolutely.
And how your actions, whatever they are, contribute to that. The document calls this operational thinking.
It does.
Right.
And it stresses that this isn't just for officers.
Oh, okay.
Every Marine, regardless of rank, needs to be thinking about how their actions fit into the overall campaign.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the document then goes on to highlight the Marine Air Ground Task Force.
The MAGTF.
The MAGTF.
Yeah.
As a key element in putting these concepts into action.
Right. So the MAGTF is that unique combination of ground, air, and logistics forces all rolled into one.
Okay. So how does that tie into operational thinking?
Well, the MAGTF is specifically designed to be flexible and agile, able to respond quickly to a wide range of situations, and operate across the spectrum of conflict from humanitarian aid to full-scale combat.
Okay.
But here's the crucial point, that MCDP 1 to 2 makes the MAGTF is often the first U.S. force to arrive.
Oh, wow.
in a new area of operations.
So being the first boots on the ground,
You got it.
Marines need to be able to think operationally from the get-go.
Absolutely.
They can't always wait for orders.
Right.
They got to understand the situation and make decisions that contribute to the larger goal.
Exactly. And MCDP 1-2 gives a real-world example of this.
Oh, really?
Operation El Dorado Canyon, the 1986 U.S. airstrike on Libya.
Oh, yeah.
Now, at first glance, it seemed like a straightforward tactical response to the bombing of a discotheque in Berlin.
Right.
But the document reveals a deeper story.
Oh. So MCDP 1-2 is saying that this seemingly isolated event was actually part of a larger campaign.
It was.
And it was about using a range of actions.
Yes.
Like diplomacy, economic sanctions, and, yes, military force.
To try and deter Libya's support for terrorism.
Wow.
So El Dorado Canyon was just one piece of a much larger puzzle.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's a good example for Marines because it shows that even a seemingly small mission can be part of a bigger strategic effort.
That's right.
So you might not always have all the information, but you need to think critically about how your mission fits into the larger campaign.
That's a powerful insight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And MCDP 1-2 doesn't just focus on victories.
No.
It also uses historical examples where tactical setbacks actually contributed to operational success.
It does. One of the most compelling examples is General Nathaniel Greene's campaign against the British in the Carolinas during the American Revolution. Now, at the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, Greene's forces were outnumbered and outmaneuvered. They had to retreat.
Okay, so that's a loss.
Which tactically is a loss, yes.
Yeah.
But MCDP 1-2 says this was actually a strategic win.
So on paper, a defeat, but strategically a win.
That's right.
How does that make sense?
This is where the operational level of war comes in again.
Okay.
Greene, even though he lost the battle, had expertly exhausted Cornwallis's British forces.
Okay.
Their pursuit of Greene stretched their supply lines thin and prevented them from capitalizing on their tactical victory.
Okay.
So in the end, Greene was able to regroup and regain the initiative.
So a tactical defeat can lead to success at the operational level.
That's right.
So how can a Marine today apply this kind of thinking?
Well, what's fascinating here is that Greene's example highlights the importance of understanding the commander's intent.
Okay.
Even when the situation is chaotic.
Right.
You know, he was able to step back, assess the bigger picture, and adapt his tactics.
Even in the face of a loss.
Even in the face of a loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's about having that strategic mindset.
Right.
Even in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Not every engagement will be a win.
That's right.
But even setbacks can contribute to the larger goal.
You got it.
If you play your cards right.
Exactly. And MCDP 1-2 emphasizes that this kind of thinking is crucial for Marines at all levels.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the forest for the trees and understanding how your actions contribute to the Marine Corps' overall mission.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so MCDP 1-2.
Right.
It's not just some dry theoretical document.
No.
It's a practical guide for action.
Yes.
It uses historical examples to illustrate these concepts.
Absolutely.
And it seems to be really focused on empowering Marines to think critically.
It's about their role in a conflict.
Absolutely. MCDP 1-2 reminds every Marine, regardless of rank or MOS, that they're a critical part of the warfighting machine.
Wow.
Your actions, your decisions, have the potential to shape the course of a campaign.
That's amazing.
And ultimately contribute to mission success.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is.
Okay.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another point MCDP 1-2 makes about the flow of information. It uses the analogy of a spider web. A tug at any point can be felt throughout the entire structure.
Okay, so you're saying that communication needs to flow freely in both directions.
Exactly. Up and down the chain of command.
Right.
The fingers, those executing tactical actions, need to understand the brain's intent.
Okay.
You know, the strategic leadership's goals.
Okay.
And the brain needs to have a clear picture of what the fingers are experiencing on the ground.
That makes sense in a chaotic environment, you know, with the fog of war and all that. That constant communication is even more important.
Right.
But how does MCDP 1-2 address this practically?
The document emphasizes the need for clear, concise reporting from the tactical level.
Okay.
Marines need to be able to communicate what they're seeing, what they're facing, what challenges they're encountering.
Okay.
But it's not just about reporting problems, it's also about sharing opportunities.
Right, so like a Marine might see a weakness in the enemy's defenses.
Exactly.
Or a chance to exploit a tactical advantage.
You got it.
And that information needs to get up the chain of command.
That needs to get up the chain of command.
Quickly.
Absolutely. So the leadership can adapt the plan.
Okay.
Right?
So on the flip side, commanders at all levels have a responsibility to ensure their intent is clearly understood.
Yes.
Down the line.
Yes. This two-way communication is absolutely essential for making informed decisions, adjusting to unexpected situations, and achieving the mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not about blindly following orders.
No.
It's about everyone understanding the why behind the mission.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that shared understanding becomes even more critical in today's world.
Okay.
The document highlights the challenges posed by the media.
Oh, right.
For example,
Right.
In this age of instant information, a single incident captured on camera can have strategic consequences.
Yeah, that's where the idea of the strategic corporal comes in.
That's right.
Right. Even the actions of a junior Marine can have a ripple effect.
Huge ripple effect.
That reaches far beyond the battlefield.
Exactly. So that's why MCDP 1.2 stresses the need for every Marine, regardless of rank, to think about the broader implications of their actions.
Okay.
It encourages Marines to be disciplined, to be aware of their surroundings, and to understand the larger context of the mission.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not just about following orders.
No.
It's about thinking critically and understanding how your actions, no matter how small they seem, can impact the Marine Corps and the nation.
They can.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It is. And MCDP 1.2 recognizes that.
Okay.
And emphasizes that Marines need to be constantly learning, adapting, and refining their approach to warfare. What worked in one conflict may not work in another. The document encourages Marines to study military history, to analyze past campaigns, and to learn from both successes and failures.
So being a student of the art of war, constantly seeking to improve and adapt.
You got it.
And it sounds like MCDP 1.2 is the guidebook for that journey.
It is.
Okay.
And one of the key concepts it keeps coming back to is that victory in battle is just one step towards achieving the ultimate political goals of a conflict.
Right.
You can win every battle, but if you lose sight of those political objectives, you can still lose the war.
That makes sense. War is a tool, a means to an end.
It is.
The real goal is achieving those political objectives,
right,
whatever they might be.
Exactly.
So winning battles should always be in service of those larger goals.
They should. MCDP 1-2 uses the Vietnam War as a stark reminder of this.
Okay.
You know, the U.S. military won many tactical engagements in Vietnam, but ultimately the strategic objectives were not achieved.
So it's about always keeping the big picture in mind.
It is.
Even when you're focused on the immediate fight.
Yes.
That's a valuable lesson for any Marine.
It is.
But let's get practical for a moment.
Okay.
MCDP 1-2 also emphasizes the importance of logistics, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you can have the best strategy in the world.
You can.
But if you can't get supplies to the front line,
it's all for nothing.
It's all for nothing.
The document recognizes that logistics is a crucial enabler of military operations.
Right.
Without effective logistical support.
Yeah.
Even the most brilliant plans can crumble.
Right.
So that's why MCDP 1.2 stresses that logistical considerations need to be integrated into every stage of campaign planning.
Okay.
From the initial concept to the final execution.
So it's not just about having enough beans and bullets.
It's not.
It's about anticipating those logistical challenges, developing robust supply chains.
Yes.
And ensuring that your forces have what they need when they need it.
When they need it, that's right. And the document also emphasizes the need for flexibility and adaptability in logistics.
Okay.
Things rarely go according to plan.
Right.
You know, supply lines can be disrupted, unexpected needs can arise.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to adjust on the fly.
So having a plan B.
Plan B.
And maybe even Plan C.
Plan C, that's right.
When it comes to logistics.
And MCDP 1-2 reminds Marines
okay,
that battles and campaigns are won not just by those on the front lines, but also by the dedicated efforts of those who ensure that troops are supplied, equipped, and supported.
So it's a team effort.
It's a team effort. Everyone plays a crucial role.
Everybody's important.
Everybody's important, that's right.
Okay, logistics is essential.
Yes.
But what about intelligence?
Okay.
How does MCDP 1-2 address the need for accurate information about the enemy and the battle space? Right. I mean, you can't make good decisions if you don't know what you're up against.
You can't. And the document emphasizes that timely and accurate intelligence is the bedrock of sound decision-making at all levels of warfare, and calls for a robust intelligence gathering and analysis capability within the Marine Corps. You know, it's about providing commanders with a clear understanding of the enemy, the terrain, the entire operational environment.
So it's not just about knowing where the enemy is.
It's not.
It's about understanding their capabilities, their intentions.
That's right.
Their potential weaknesses.
Or weaknesses, exactly. MCDP 1 to 2 encourages Marines at all levels to develop their intelligence skills, to be proactive in seeking information, and to critically evaluate the intelligence they receive.
Right, so not just accepting information at face value.
Don't just accept it at face value. Be discerning.
Be a critical thinker.
Be a critical thinker.
You got it. Even when it comes to intelligence reports.
Absolutely, and it sounds like MCDP 1-2 is really pushing Marines to be more than just order takers. It wants them to be active participants in the intelligence process. So the document highlights the importance of sharing intelligence across different units and commands to create a common operational picture. It's about breaking down silos and ensuring that everyone has access to the most up-to-date information.
That makes sense in today's fast-paced environment.
It does.
That shared understanding of the battle space can be crucial for making quick, effective decisions.
Quick, effective decisions, that's right.
But what about command and control? How does MCDP 1 to 2 approach the challenge of coordinating the actions of these dispersed units in the chaos of battle?
The document recognizes that effective command and control is absolutely essential for coordinating the actions of those dispersed units. Ensuring everyone is working towards the same goals. And adapting to the inevitable changes that occur in combat.
So having clear lines of authority, efficient communication systems. And a shared understanding of the commander's intent.
Absolutely. But MCDP 1-2 goes a step further. It highlights the importance of decentralized command. Empowering subordinate leaders to make decisions and take initiative within the framework of the overall campaign plan.
So trusting your junior leaders.
Trusting your junior leaders.
Giving them the authority to make decisions on the ground.
On the ground.
Without having to wait for specific order.
Without having to wait, that's right. It's about recognizing that in the fog of war, those closest to the action often have the best understanding of the situation and need the flexibility to adapt quickly.
That makes sense.
It does.
Especially in today's complex and rapidly changing operational environments. But how does MCDP 1 to 2 address the increasing need for joint operations? Where different branches of the military have to work together. That adds another layer of complexity.
It does, and the document recognizes that. You know, it emphasizes that joint operations are becoming increasingly common in modern warfare, and Marines need to be prepared to operate seamlessly alongside soldiers, sailors, airmen, and guardians.
So understanding the capabilities and limitations of each service.
Absolutely.
Building relationships. With your counterparts. From other branches.
You got it.
Developing a common language. For communication and coordination.
That's right. MCDP 1 to 2 stresses the importance of joint doctrine, joint training and joint exercises to break down those barriers and build a truly integrated force.
I see.
And it highlights the need for flexibility and adaptability in joint operations, recognizing that each service brings unique perspectives and approaches to the fight.
Right, so leveraging the strengths of each service.
Leverage the spray.
While working together as a cohesive team.
As a team, that's right.
But let's get back to the individual Marine for a moment. MCDP 1-2 also talks about the importance of understanding the cultural and political landscape of the area of operations.
It does, and this is a crucial point that often gets overlooked. The document recognizes that modern warfare doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes place in complex, nuanced environments where cultural sensitivities, political dynamics, and local perceptions can have a huge impact on the success of a mission.
So it's not just about knowing the enemy.
It's not.
It's about understanding the people, the culture, the history of the place where you're operating.
That's right. And MCDP 1-2 stresses the need for Marines to develop cultural awareness. To understand the perspectives of the local population and to operate in a way that minimizes collateral damage and builds positive relationships with those communities.
If you alienate the local population, you're basically creating more enemies.
You're creating more enemies.
Even if you're winning battles.
Even if you're winning battles, that's right.
Right.
And MCDP 1.2 goes even further, encouraging Marines to study the history, culture, and politics of the regions where they might be deployed.
Wow.
It encourages them to engage with local leaders and build rapport with the people they're there to help.
So it's about being more than just a warrior.
More than just a warrior.
It's about being an ambassador. A representative of the United States. You need to understand the people that you're interacting with, their values, their concerns.
You do. MCDP 1.2 is really pushing Marines to be more than just fighters.
Right.
It's about being thinkers, communicators.
Yeah.
And even diplomats.
Wow.
You know, it's about recognizing that the human terrain is just as important as the physical terrain.
That's a powerful message.
It is, and it sounds like it's becoming even more critical in today's complex world, where wars are rarely fought in clear-cut conventional ways.
Right.
MCDP 1.2 recognizes that, and it emphasizes the importance of innovation and adaptation in campaigning.
Okay, so let's talk about that the world is changing rapidly. Technology is evolving. The nature of warfare is constantly shifting.
Right.
How does MCDP 1.2 address this need for the Marine Corps to stay ahead of the curve?
Well, the document is pretty clear on this point. It argues that Marines can't just rely on the tactics and technologies of the past.
Right.
The nature of warfare is constantly evolving. So the Corps needs to be proactive in developing new approaches and adopting new tools.
So it's about fostering a culture of innovation.
Exactly.
Encouraging Marines to think creatively, challenge assumptions.
Right.
Experiment with new ways of doing things.
MCDP 1.2 emphasizes the need to study emerging technologies, analyze new threats, and develop innovative solutions to the challenges of the modern battle space.
Yeah, so we're talking drones, cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, all that stuff that's changing the face of warfare.
That's right.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It is.
It sounds like MCDP 1.2 is pushing Marines to be lifelong learners.
It is.
Constantly seeking new knowledge and skills.
It is, but it also recognizes that technology is just a tool. Right. It's the Marine, the individual, who ultimately determines how effectively that tool is used. It's about judgment, decision-making, and leadership.
So it's not about becoming slaves to technology.
Right.
It's about using it intelligently and ethically.
To
achieve the mission.
You got it.
And MCDP 1.2 doesn't shy away from the ethical challenges of modern warfare.
It doesn't.
It recognizes that Marines often operate in incredibly difficult environments.
Yes.
Where they're forced to make tough decisions.
Right.
With life or death consequences.
They have huge consequences. Yeah.
So in the heat of the moment, how does a Marine make those decisions? How do they ensure they're acting ethically?
Right.
And within the bounds of the law?
MCDP 1.2 stresses the importance of adhering to the highest ethical standards, even under extreme pressure.
Right.
It reminds Marines that they represent the United States.
Yeah.
And are expected to conduct themselves with honor and integrity.
Okay.
You know, it comes back to those core values of the Marine Corps: honor, courage, and commitment.
Right.
You know, those values should guide every decision a Marine makes.
So having a strong moral compass.
Yes.
Knowing right from wrong, even in the chaos of combat.
Exactly. And it's about seeking guidance from your leaders.
Right.
When you're facing a tough decision, MCDP 1.2 emphasizes that commanders have a responsibility to create an ethical climate within their units, where Marines feel comfortable raising concerns and seeking advice.
Yeah, that's so important.
It is.
It creates that environment of trust and accountability.
Trust and accountability. That's right.
But MCDP 1.2 also talks about the legal framework governing military operations.
It does.
It's not just about ethics. It's about understanding the laws of war.
The laws of war, exactly.
Okay.
It emphasizes that Marines need to understand the laws of armed conflict, the rules of engagement, and the legal implications of their actions.
Wow.
They can't just plead ignorance.
Right.
The document encourages Marines to get training in these areas, to seek advice from legal experts when necessary, and to report any potential violations of the law.
So being a lawful warrior.
A lawful warrior.
Respecting the law Even in the heat of battle.
Even in the heat of battle, absolutely.
And it sounds like MCDP 1.2 is really emphasizing education and training.
It is.
Not just in tactics and weapon systems,
right,
but in these broader concepts of strategy, ethics, and law.
It encourages Marines to seek opportunities for professional growth throughout their careers.
Okay.
To attend courses, participate in training exercises, and engage in critical thinking about their experiences.
Right. So it's about developing as a leader,
as a
thinker, and as a well-rounded Marine.
As a well-rounded Marine, that's right.
So it's a journey, not a destination.
It is.
MCDP 1.2 is a roadmap.
It is.
For that journey.
It is.
Helping Marines navigate the complexities of modern warfare.
Exactly. And here's where MCDP 1.2 really brings it all together.
Okay.
It reminds Marines that victory in battle is only one possible means to a larger end.
Right.
It encourages them to think beyond the immediate fight, to understand how their actions contribute to the larger campaign, and to always keep those political objectives in mind.
And that's where your deep dive into MCDP 1.2
ends.
Hopefully this has given you a solid foundation for understanding this really important document.
Yeah.
Always remember, even in the heat of battle, every Marine is part of a larger campaign.
A larger campaign.
And every action contributes to the mission.
That's right.
Keep learning, keep adapting, and stay Semper Fidelis.